Hello, Pooja. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine as well. So, first of all, a big congratulations to you. Getting 90 marks in AFM is not humanly possible. I believe you are a robot or you are an AI. I know that historically you have been a very bright student, and now I want you to guide the new students. There are a lot of students who are going to give their second, third attempt, or even I receive messages from students who are giving AFM for the fourth time, and even we have first attempt students. First thing that I want you to ask is how much number one time you had, and then what was your basic plan? Over to you, Pooja.
Yeah. So AFM was my last paper. So obviously I was like, I need to get this over with. I did not want to go for another attempt, nothing like that. So thankfully I finished my college. So I was completely full-time focused on AFM. So I gave around 1.5 to 2 months. So I enrolled in your course. So I was following from day one. Um, because of time zones, I wasn't always able to join the live classes, but I
Mm-hmm.
always made it like I made sure that I would watch it later on or catch up on the weekends, anything I could do. But yeah, I think it's important to give as much time as you can because there's a lot you need to learn, and every question is different. Like you always say, it's really difficult to do any question on your own without looking at the answer first. They're all
Hmm.
different. So even if you complete the syllabus, every question is going to challenge you. So I think for this
Correct.
paper, at least you need to give a lot of time.
Okay. All right, Pooja, my next question will be a lot of students are really, really worried about theory. I keep telling them that read ACC answers, be relaxed, read the notes, gradually you will improve. So, because we know that in AFM, it is around 50 marks practical, computational area, and around 40-50 marks are from theory. So let's focus on theory first. Guide the students. How did you do the theory? What were your main tools? Which documents you used for theory area specifically, and how did you manage theory? Let's discuss about theory.
Theory was actually what made me really nervous because I focused so much on my practicals and calculations because that's what you're most nervous about. So I remember texting my friends even until like a week before the exam. I'm like, bro, I'm going to mess up theory. I didn't practice enough. I was really, really scared. But like you said, it was all about just reading the answers. And I remember you shared this document which had like a lot of theory answers. I forgot
Mhm.
what document it was, but you shared a document which had like multiple theory answers. So the last 2 to 3 weeks, I kept reading that. Whenever I had free time, I would read those theory answers, and any points, it would just stay in my head. So later on in the exam, when you face a theory question, you'll be like, oh, I can relate that point over here. So read as many as you can, like past paper answers and the document that Sir shares. Always read those answers. The more you keep reading, the more you get accustomed to writing the way that ACCA wants you to write.
Okay. So there are two types of probably documents. Number one is the 67 pages booklet, and the other is the summaries that I share in the last month and I tell students to print them out. So you used both of these documents?
Yeah, I did. The 67 was really useful because towards the end, you don't want to go through your notes. You want to go through something nice and
Hmm.
concise. And the theory notes were really helpful. That was what I was using the most because I
Hmm.
didn't practice as much theory like on my own. So I used the reading to kind of
Notes.
understand.
All right. Okay. Now coming to the practical area, what did you focus? Did you do any specific kit? List of 50 questions, relied on portal? Be open and tell the students which questions did you do and what do you think will be the best ingredient for practical?
50, 50, the top 50, obviously. I had my Excel sheet. So I kind of modified it as well. Most of the questions, they're either on the practice platform or on the
On
kit.
portal.
It's
Hmm.
always there. So I kept like an Excel sheet. Any question that I was able to do, I would mark it in green. Anything that I needed further practice, I would mark it in yellow. Things I didn't do in red. So there are certain questions that I think I did at least like 3 to 4 times because I just
Hmm.
couldn't understand the concept. For example, if we were doing callers, I couldn't understand it at all. It took me a lot of time. So those
Agree.
questions I did multiple times. So I
Okay.
think following the top 50 and doing questions sometimes over and over again is really useful.
All right. So in summary, top 50 questions and doing the same question and again, correct? It
Yeah,
helps.
yeah.
Okay. And what is the importance of past paper? Because I receive a lot. I tell my students that if you have a good grip over the past papers, your paper is going to be 70-80% same. Like treatment is going to be same.
Yeah.
But still students are worried. They keep asking, sir, every case is different. What if I get something very new? So what do you think? Was there, when you sat in your exams, was there any like repetition of concept in your paper, or it was entirely new? What do you think?
Theory, I would say, was entirely different. I had never seen any theory questions like those.
Mm-hmm.
That was honestly one of the reasons where I was most nervous. But practicals, it's always the same. They kind of shuffle between, like, for example, if you're doing like, for example, if you're doing interest rate hedging, it's usually the same. You have it, the numbers
Mm-hmm.
might vary. There might be one or two tricky parts. But the more you practice, the more you realize that the pattern is the same. It's just numbers and one little tricky
Mm-hmm.
aspect that they would change. And it's also important, I think, to do timed mocks because it's very, very hard to manage your time. Even though I practiced timed mocks, I actually ran out of time in my exam. So I was typing, and while I was typing, the paper just went off. It's really, really
Hmm.
important to practice timed mocks. But yeah, I think
All right.
practice past papers are really important. There's definitely some like pattern that just carries forward.
Agreed. Okay, students, if you have any questions, you can also put them in the chat box. Pooja, we will take a couple of questions to listen to students as well. One of the students is asking, did you solve the questions on Excel or you watch the videos? So what was your approach?
It's obviously very important for you to use Excel, but I would also say use the blank workspace because sometimes Excel might be a little too easy, but the
Hmm.
CB platform is a little difficult for you to use. And
All right.
videos, yeah, definitely, because if I didn't understand something, I would take up Sir's question solving video. I would like on the portal, I would search up that question's names, the video will be there.
Hmm.
Watch that and I'll compare it to my answers.
All right. We have one more question. What should be the strategy for someone who is just starting to study? Okay. Pooja, can you share your experience? When did you actually start? Did you start post result or pre result? When?
Because
Okay.
I knew I had to give a lot of time for AFM. It was a very difficult subject. So I gave close to 2 months. And right now, I think you're fine. It's the mid of October. You still have 1.5 months. So if
Mm-hmm.
you have to definitely give like all the time that you possibly can, especially on weekends.
All right. Let's take a couple of how many hours per day on average?
I think initially it would be like 3 to 4, but towards like maybe 1 month, it was definitely like 5, 6, even 7 to 8 hours
5, 6 a day.
during the weekends.
All right. And when did you start practicing past papers? 1 month before exam? Like,
Should be, yeah. Because
okay.
it took me around like 15 to 20 days to finish the syllabus, and then yeah, 1 month all the questions.
All right. Did you get good grip of concepts the very first time you watched the theory or the questions?
For hedging, definitely not. Hedging took me a really, really
Hedging
long
is
time.
really good. Yeah.
And even
Okay.
actually,
Mhm.
yes, sorry.
I was saying for hedging, did you do those important live classes? There are 4 or 5, 6 hour sessions, a
Yeah.
couple of sessions, a very long, lengthy session which
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
entire hedging, correct?
The videos were very long, so sometimes you get really demotivated, but it was very important for you to do that.
Hmm. Correct, correct, correct. Okay. What was your main strategy, like a roadmap to pass this exam? I guess we will end up with
Yeah.
this answer in the end. Okay. Which question did you solve first in exam? 50 marker or the two and three? Question two and three.
I go in order. I start off with section A, 50 marker, but I always
Mm-hmm.
make sure that if it crosses 1.5 hours, I leave it and I go to the next question. Then towards the
Hmm.
end, I came back again because I left the introduction, I left the conclusion. So I knew I needed to, and there was bits and pieces. So I came back later.
All right. There are quite a lot of similar questions. Basically, there are a lot of students who are job going. They do job. They have a 9 to 5 job. They will hardly get 7 2 days off at the end.
True.
Right now, they are able to invest around 2 hours on weekdays, and on weekends, they invest 6 to 7 hours. So, considering someone who is starting right now and he has a limited time, like he can invest 2 hours daily and 7 8 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and he or she will get 1 week off at the end. What will you suggest these type of students? How they should they make their strategy, and how they should do the things in the last 45 days, if you can summarize?
First of all, don't panic. I understand it could be very,
Hmm.
scary. You might think, oh, that other person is practicing 10 hours a day and I'm only getting 2 hours. But don't think of it that way. The time you have, it's all about studying efficiently and capitalize your weekends. Do as much as you can during your weekends. If you could get breaks during work, say your lunch break, you can watch a
Mhm.
video. And yeah, whatever time you have, even if it's 2 to 3 hours a day, use it wisely because initially that's how much people will spend. But towards the end, speed it up and try as much as you can. But don't get demotivated.
Mhm. Great. Okay, Pooja, do the broadcast messages actually help, or do they panic you out? Did they panic you out?
No, they kept me on track. When you look at the messages, and if I'm like I'm watching TV, I'm like, no, I have to get back to practice. It was very motivating.
Okay, great. Let's take two more questions. One of the question is, when I study a topic and I try to practice a question related to the topic, I find it difficult to attempt the question for the first time. How do I overcome the challenge? Is it a good idea to check the model answer?
Yes, it is, and that's actually the advised method because it's very hard. Even the week before the exam, if you open a new question, you will struggle,
Hmm.
and that's just how AFM is.
Okay, so students, you don't need to be worried. Don't panic, and you have to make sure that don't worry if you are not able to do a particular past paper yourself. Pooja scored 90, and she also used to refer to answers or videos when needed. Doing a new question and expecting that I am a genius and I will be able to solve it perfectly is not possible. It is learning by practice. Do you agree, Pooja? It is like
For
when we
sure.
practice a question, we are still in a learning process in AFM. Agreed. One last question I will take. Pooja, you said you did 3 to 5 practices for a question. Do you think it is better to practice without looking at the answer, or is it okay that we refer each time we practice? Okay, Pooja.
Like I said, initially for so many questions, you will have to look at the answer first. It's very difficult. But as Sir said, the more you practice, the more comfortable you get, the more questions you do, that is. So don't worry. Initially, I think towards at least like 2 weeks before the exam, I still kept looking at the answers. So don't worry. It's okay. You'll get the hang of it very soon.
All right. Okay, last question from my side. Can you tell students about 3 or 4 practice material that you used? Any kit, study hub, portal? If I say label or rank any 3 things in priority, what will be those 3 things? It can be list of 50 questions, it can be 67 pages booklet,
Yeah.
it can be portal, it can be BPP kit, Kaplan kit, study hub. Rank any three, or the top most, the 3 most used things that you used in your journey.
One, personally, I would say do study hub. It was very difficult for me. There's a lot of
Hmm.
people who texted me asking, did you use the study hub? And I say no. I used Kaplan Kit
You
because
did
a
not
lot
use
of
a
the
study hub?
I did not. The study hub was
Oh.
way too difficult for me. And I
Okay.
remember, I think one of the questions that the teacher assistant shared was from the study hub. I could not do it. I kept texting him. I was like, I cannot do this. Can you please help me out? It was
Okay.
very hard. But
All right.
most 50 questions will come in your Kaplan, so I had to use Kaplan and because all of
50
them are
questions
there.
list, the list of 50 questions that I gave
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Excel said, okay,
Yeah.
okay, this is
They were
okay.
on the
One thing.
Kaplan or the CBE platform.
Yeah, they are somewhere
Sure.
on. Okay, this is
Yeah,
the
so
first thing.
definitely
Second and
that.
third.
For the theory note, the compilation of all the theory answers you
Okay,
gave
that
for
67
people who
pages
are
booklet
scared.
in the summaries, correct? These two
Yeah,
things.
both of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about
And
portal?
yeah, that was
Definite.
the video answers. And the parts like, for example, Islamic finance and all the short concepts, those videos. Make sure you watch those. There's a
Hmm.
high chance you might skip those saying, oh, it's done. But it's important to watch all those small concepts as well.
Correct. And lastly, what do you think a student must do in last week? Okay, this time papers are starting from 1st December. So students have a lesser time, 3, 4 days are less as compared to previous attempts. So what do you think that what must be the best thing to do in last 5 days, probably from 25th of November to 30th November?
I think what I did for the last week of my exam was definitely consistently reading the notes. I
Mm-hmm.
kept reading every single day. And I think I may have done one timed mock during that period of time.
Okay.
It was either the VIFHE mock or the pre September mock, the session I was writing. So any one mock, the VIFHE mock, a session will be held. So you can attend the session, do the mock. It will be
All
corrected
right.
and sent to you with feedback. So you can make use of that. And yeah, and
Correct.
consistent every day, make sure you read your notes. It doesn't take that long.
Reading.
Keep revising your notes.
All right. Did you read the study text as well, Kaplan or BPP, or just the summary handouts were sufficient?
I I did Kaplan because I had college, so I had to use Kaplan. So I was already
Okay. In
familiar with
college.
Kaplan.
All
So
right. All right.
I made use of it, and it was done in like May. So I had to revise it again with
Okay.
notes.
All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out time. Students, if you have very important questions which are not answered right now, you can WhatsApp me. I will forward them to Pooja, and she is definitely very helpful. I asked her to if she will be able to help students, guide them, and she was very positive. So I'm sure that Pooja is going to answer you. You can send a couple of questions if you have on my WhatsApp. I will forward to her and I will share her answers with you or probably get you connected directly. Thank you so much, Pooja, and I wish you best of luck. And 90 marks are absolutely great. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of
Thank
the
you.
session.
Have a nice day. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Bye.